Before the first dawn, before the first breath, there was only water. An endless ocean stretched beyond thought, silent, dark, eternal. Within its boundless depths stirred two ancient beings. Apsu, the sweet waters of life, clear and ordered. Tiamat, the salt waters of chaos, deep and restless. Together they mingled, and the current of creation began to move. From their union came the first gods, Lamu and Lahamu, shapeless but alive. Then came Anshar and Kishar, the horizon of heaven and the edge of the earth. The young gods filled the silent sea with laughter and song. Their voices rose like thunder, disturbing the calm of Apsu's realm. Apsu's patience waned. Peace dissolved into irritation. "They destroy my rest," he said to Tiamat. "Let us end them." But Tiamat, the mother of all, could not bear to harm her children. She pleaded for mercy, but Apsu's heart was hardened. Among the gods, one heard his plan. Ea, the wise and watchful. Ea, master of magic and knowledge, prepared his spell in silence. With words of power, he cast Apsu into an enchanted sleep. Then he struck him down, ending the first war of gods before it began. From Apsu's body, Ea built his palace, a sanctuary of light beneath the waters. There he ruled with wisdom, and his wife bore him a son, Marduk, radiant and strong. Marduk's eyes shone like twin suns, and his breath stirred storms. The young god grew in power, loved by the heavens, feared by the deep. But Tiamat, left in grief, drifted in sorrow and silence. From her loneliness rose fury, the bitterness of a mother betrayed. The still waters began again to churn. Tiamat's tears became storms, her sighs became lightning. She gathered her strength and vowed vengeance for Apsu's death. From the abyss, she birthed legions of monsters, serpents with iron scales, dragons with flaming breath, and demons with wings of shadow. At their head, she placed Kingu, her chosen consort and commander. Into his hands, she placed the Tablet of Destinies, symbol of divine authority. "Rule in my name," she said, "and let the gods tremble." The heavens shook as Tiamat's army prepared for war. The younger gods fled in terror, their courage broken. In council, they gathered before Anshar, their elder. No one dared face Tiamat, whose body was the storm itself. Then Ea spoke of his son, the one born from Apsu's light. "Let Marduk go forth," he said, "for in him is our hope." The council sent for Marduk, who came clothed in fire and wind. "If I defeat her," he said, "then grant me supreme rule forever." The gods agreed, binding their oaths with sacred fire. They gave him their weapons, their power, their trust. The heavens echoed with the sound of drums and the cry of destiny. Marduk ascended into the storm, his chariot drawn by 4 divine winds. Lightning crowned his brow, and thunder followed in his wake. The seas boiled as he approached the battlefield. Tiamat's vast form rose from the deep, her eyes blazing, her voice the roar of eternity. She called forth her monsters. The skies turned red. The gods watched from afar, holding their breath between fear and faith. The war of creation had begun. Marduk unleashed his tempest. The winds cut through the waves. Arrows of fire pierced the darkness. Tiamat answered with lightning and flame, her roar shaking the pillars of heaven. Chaos and order clashed, echoing through eternity. Every blow reshaped the cosmos. Every scream birthed a new sound of creation. The beasts of Tiamat charged, hydras, demons, and dragons with molten scales. But Marduk's storm swallowed them whole, breaking their fury with wind. The ocean turned to vapor. Mountains of foam rose like ghosts. Marduk summoned his bow, stringing it with divine power. His arrow flew like a comet through the storm. It struck Tiamat's heart, piercing the source of her chaos. The sea goddess shuddered, her body unraveling like torn sky. Marduk seized her, splitting her in two with his blade of light. With one half, he built the vault of heaven. With the other, he formed the foundation of the earth. He fixed the stars in their places, marking the paths of time. The moon rose to guide the night, the sun to rule the day. The winds calmed, the waters receded. The heavens opened, revealing the new world below. The gods, once silent, sang again, this time in awe, not fear. Marduk stood at the center of the cosmos, crowned in gold. From chaos, he had made order. From darkness, he had drawn light. And the universe, for the first time, knew peace. The war of the gods had ended. But the work of creation had just begun. Marduk looked upon the empty earth and saw it needed life. He gathered the blood of Kingu, Tiamat's fallen champion. Mixing it with clay, he shaped the first humans. Let them labor for the gods, he said, that the heavens may rest. Thus, mankind was born from rebellion and redemption alike. Ea blessed the humans with reason, so they might remember their divine origin. Rivers flowed where Tiamat's tears had fallen. Mountains rose where her bones had settled. From her eyes came the Tigris and Euphrates, the lifeblood of Babylon. The world was alive, and its pulse beat with divine rhythm. Marduk and the gods built a city at the center of the world. They named it Babylon, the gate of the gods. There they raised Esagila, the shining temple of Marduk's throne. In its heart, they placed the tablet of destinies, the law of the cosmos. Every star, every tide, every season followed its decree. The gods rejoiced, and their voices filled the heavens like music. The people of Babylon sang of their king, who brought light from darkness. Every new year, they recited the Enuma Elish, renewing creation once more. In their faith, Marduk's victory lived forever. For the Babylonians, to remember creation was to keep order alive. They knew the world was fragile. Balance must be guarded, not assumed. For even in peace, chaos sleeps beneath the waves, waiting to rise again. The story of Enuma Elish became the heartbeat of civilization itself. And though millennia have passed, its echo still reaches us, the voice of order defying chaos. For as long as humanity remembers its origin, creation continues, and the light of Marduk still burns across the eternal sea.